Welcome to another episode with Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. Got a big boy for you today. This is from Model A Brewing Company up in Tega, South Carolina. It's a Roggenbier. Drop me a comment if you know what a Roggenbier is or if you ever had one. 5.5%. Stay tuned for it after the intro. Welcome into the Midland studio as per usual. As you can tell, as you noted from my open, I have a crowler for you because Model A Brewing does not can as per traditional standards, 12 ounce cans, 16 ounce cans. So in order for me to bring something home to share with you fine folks on YouTube, I need to get a big crowler. Now, this is pretty light, which is good because 32 ounces. At 5.5%. It is a Roggenbier, which is a rather unique style, not one that you see too often. So if anyone's had a Roggenbier or knows anything more about a Roggenbier, please drop some comments for me. I had the tap room, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to get a crowler of this one to bring home to share with you folks. Now there's a little bit of a description on Untapped. I did have a little bit of a back and forth with one of the brewers there. Called Magic Carpet Ryed. Rye, Magic Carpet Ryed like an actual ride, but spelled rye. Rye beer. Rye ale, rather. Magic Carpet Ryed is a historic style German ale known as Roggenbier, brewed in a similar fashion to a dark wheat beer known as the Dunkelweizen. You know me, I love my Dunkels. Roggenbier is brewed with rye malt instead of wheat. The addition of rye versus wheat imparts a viscous, creamy texture. Expect a beer that is very reminiscent of pumpernickel bread, but with the addition of sweet banana-clove notes contributed by the Hefeweizen yeast used to ferment it. The beer also features light caramel and toasted notes from the addition of roasted malts. This is a very unique and complex beer that truly embraces the meaning of craft. So, I've had this before. There's a lot of beer to get through, and I may be using the rest of it to contribute to a little bit of a project for all of you to see later this year. Fingers crossed later this year anyway. So what do you say we waste some more time? Let's crack open this big boy, yeah? Big pop for a big can. Now if you look at that color, it's a nice red, roasty, amber type of color. Looks a little dark from back here, so I'll hold it up for you. Maybe the light will catch it. Might still look a little dark with the light. So this is like a let's go over a little bit of the description. I'm sorry, I can't remember too much of my conversation with the actual brewer. It was very casual and such, but it's very much like a beer that is a mixed match of things. It is rye, but it's more of that bready type of. There's cloving, from my recollection, the first time I had it, there's a lot of that cloviness, there's a lot of the dunkel notes in it. It's really a lot going on. So I'm going to take a nose and refresh my memory. Snorted a little bit of it, my apologies. Again, a lot of the bread. A lot of bready notes in the aroma. There's a little bit of spice, which there's no, they put grainy spice note, but they don't emphasize what type of spice it is. But there's definitely a little bit of spice note in the nose. But mostly what the nose is a lot of that bready quality, so that lends into the description of it being more of a pumpernickel type of deal. Which is funny, you think of a dunkel, you think of something that has some of that like toffee caramel roasty type of Schwarzbier, black IPA, Cascadian type of profile, but this is not that. So it's definitely blending to that kind of mix of different styles into this beer. So enough listening to me jibber jabber on. Let's take a sip and see what it tastes like. Yum. Just like I remember it from drinking at the tap room. Oh, sorry, got carried away. It's such a sweet little treat. And I don't know if you necessarily expect something that's based on a dunkel to be sweet. Got a little carried away. It's funny with this, it comes in with that sweet note right off the top. Kind of sits in the back a little more. You get some caramel. You get that toffee note that you kind of expect. Now this does taste a little different than having it on tap. So this notes to the theory that beers taste different in the can pouring into a glass versus straight out of the tap. I don't want to say fresh out of the tap because I just didn't get this that long ago, so it's definitely still fresh. Or at least at the time I'm recording this. So it's definitely not worried about freshness, but there's definitely a different type of flavor to it from my memories recalling it in the taste, in the flavor, from drinking in the tap room to drinking out of the can. Again, it comes in pretty sweet. Dare I say very sweet. It's got a bready note. It's more like, now see, when I said it smelled bready, it had kind of that traditional bready aroma. Whereas the taste, when I say it tastes bready, this is more of that pumpernickel flavor that they describe untapped. It's kind of sweet. I don't want to necessarily say it's a pumpkin type of flavor, but it's definitely that kind of mesh of pumpkin bread or banana bread, and then they describe it as banana-clove. Mindset going into it, and that's also what the brewer said while I was chatting him up about it. So definitely has a sweetness from banana, pumpkin, maybe a mix of the two, something of that nature. But the sweetness is definitely overpowering profile on it. It's not an overpowering sweetness, but in terms of the complexity of this beer, the sweetness is definitely the higher note, the most prevalent profile of the beer. I had no problems buying a crowler of it because it's that dang good. And If you're ever up in the greater Rock Hill, Fort Mill area of South Carolina, it's only about, what, half an hour, if that, from the Charlotte city limits, depending on what part of the Charlotte city limits, maybe a little longer. But as far as distance from there, it's very easy to get to. And then as far as the South Carolina in general, depending on what part it is, it may be a little different, but at least from the Midlands Low Country end, it's fairly continuous stretch to get to. You just kind of run up 77 and get right off the exit, and it's right down the street. So very easy to get to. I'm very excited to see them do more and get canning, maybe get into distro. That would be awesome, because they're a lot of traditional German style beers they just knock out of the park. It's really very good. So it won't be the last time I'm there, because I wind up having to go up to that area quite a bit to see my cardiologist. And just, you know what, if you're ever up there, make a run down the road. Go run down the road to Tega. It's right on the Fort Mill Tega line. Super easy to get to. Super easy. Model A, and you can even do a threefer. You can go to Replay, you can go to Model A, and you go to 1873. They're all right on Route 160. So you're not going to be disappointed in the beer selection up in that neck of the woods, because there's 3 big time breweries in that area of the state. We're all on the same road. If you like what you saw, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so these videos drop coming straight to you on your phone, tablet, mobile device, what have you. If you want to recommend a beer to me, or maybe even send me a beer, email me, nutmeg2palmetto@gmail.com. We'll sort out all the fine details over there. And if this wasn't enough of me for you, go ahead and follow me on my social media channels, TikTok and Instagram, @nutmeg2palmetto. Stay up to tune with a little more instant reaction type of going on my adventures and that sort of thing. And of course I always tease these videos over there too to direct some traffic. In the event, Model A, I will most certainly be visiting you again in the future. This was very good, and the rest of you should too. Cheers folks, we'll see you next time.